Salute. I'll not say hello today. I'll just say salute. And this salute belongs to Sanju Samson. What a guy. What a game. What a performance. It was the most ideal performance I would rate myself, having seen cricket for 3 decades. Right. I have seen, of course, others do a similar act in terms of the level of performance that Sanju delivered, but it's a very rare thing. The last time I remember I saw such a performance, in fact, that was even greater, was Virat Kohli in Melbourne when he was playing against Pakistan, and we had absolutely no hope. At least in this match, it was not a hopeless situation that we won this match from, but such was, of course, Virat's pedigree, and something that Sanju also acknowledged at the end of the match when he was given the Man of the Match award, that he's learned from the best, like Virat and Rohit and all. So, yeah, amongst the innings that I have seen all my life, and I'm an absolute enthusiastic follower, I almost watch every match ball by ball that India plays. So, having seen all of that, I think he deserves an absolute salute once again. It was a mind blowing innings. But I'll talk a little bit later about Sanju in our top three section. But you know what? This match was a fantastic example of how life is generally. Let's take Sanju's example to exhibit how life can get really interesting, and at times how life can get disappointing, and at times how life can suddenly become rewarding. So Sanju Samson was not in the scheme of things at all, right? As far as I remember, Shubman Gill was the guy who was supposed to be opening with Abhishek Sharma, and he did that for a while. Just before, I would believe, the New Zealand series, I think he was actively playing. Sorry, the South Africa series. He was actively playing the T20 squad, and everybody believes that he's a favorite of Gautam Gambhir, and hence he is getting the captaincy in all formats, and he wants to, of course, in ODI also continue with Shubman. Test match also Shubman is there, and of course T20 eventually he would want to hand over after Surya is done, because Shubman is a lot younger as compared to Surya. So, considering that nobody was expecting that Shubman Gill won't be a part of the T20 squad in the World Cup. But come, I believe, the New Zealand series where Sanju was got back, and he got a chance. And when the squad for World Cup was announced, Shubman's name didn't feature there because he did not have a great T20 form before that, before the World Cup squad was announced. So suddenly, out of nowhere, Sanju Samson was nowhere in the playing 11 and suddenly becomes a part of the squad. Similarly, Ishan Kishan was also nowhere, but because he continued to play Ranji well and had some fantastic scores, and he got his side to win in Ranji, the Jharkhand team. Hence, he got a breakthrough in the World Cup as well. But coming back to Sanju, he was there, and everybody was very confident that Sanju is a rock star opener, and so is Abhishek. And Abhishek, the way he was playing, that these are definite choices for World Cup. But Sanju, like always, in a way, I would like to say that he gets a lot of chances. He takes a few, but misses quite a few. So he continued that streak, unfortunately. And at the very end of it, just before the World Cup were to begin, Ishan Kishan was batting like a dream, Abhishek was batting like a dream, and Sanju did not find his place inside the playing 11 come World Cup. And suddenly he was out of favor, and everybody was thinking that, yeah, this is done, and we will have Ishan Kishan, Abhishek opening, and life will be sorted. But like they say, in life, you should never give up. And I believe that's what Sanju did. He also put out a post, I remember, just before the World Cup began, that I'm sorry that I could not, live up to the faith all of you have posed on me. And at the end of it, he could not, of course, get a few games in the World Cup. But as luck were to have it, life gave him the reward for his patience, hard work, perseverance. And Abhishek didn't play well, and his loss of form meant somebody else was benefited, which was, of course, Sanju. So literally life came full circle from being nowhere in the T20 scheme to Shubman Gill being dropped and Sanju and Ishan Kishan getting into the squad, and thereafter, of course, moving along and not getting his chance, and finally back in the team, and he got us a match-winning innings. Something that had he not played, we were clearly not going to qualify for the semis. So very interesting. I loved it. How cricket generally tends to mirror how life also tends to behave with all of us. Right now, talking about the match, of course, it was a great match, nerve-wracking in a way, because it never felt as if either of the team was out of the match. India chose to bowl a very smart decision, because that meant that we could very easily understand how to play in the second innings, because our batting apparently was not firing the way it was before the World Cup. So I think it was a great idea to kind of bowl first, get a very clear idea of what the target is, and play according to that. So great one. And West Indies also could not get a great start in the power play. Shai Hope and Roston Chase could not really get them a flyer, which generally is expected of West Indies batting lineup. So containing them to 195 was outstanding, I believe. That's something that India did fairly well, because the kind of explosive batting that West Indies has, anything less than 220 was not on the cards. But I think so, kudos to that. However, there were funny things which happened during the match. India dropped 3 catches, and our catching efficiency was pathetic. It's been pathetic throughout the tournament. Unfortunately, I've been saying this all the while. But you know what? West Indies returned the favors, and they almost dropped as many catches as we did. And hence, that was not sort of a match deciding sort of moment. And eventually, we could win. So it was great. Amazing, great feeling to be in the semi-finals. Now we'll be playing England. But quickly, before we move to the England match, let's look at the top 3 things. Sanju, of course, was the top one, like I said. But you know what the beauty was? That once he scored his 50, I don't know how many of you saw it, but he went back and took his guard. He marked his leg stump, and he started batting as if he is starting from zero. So I think that was one heck of a sign that he was not done after scoring the 50. And thank heavens he was not done, because apart from him, nobody else could perform. So he's 97, and the second highest score after that was Tilak Verma at 27, which is like miles away, right? But the best thing for Tilak's innings was that it was at a strike rate of 200, and everybody else chipped in with a 15, 20, 10, like those kind of scores. So had it not been for Sanju, we definitely had no chance to go through. So that very much that determination very much told us that this guy is not done even at 50, and that's something that impressed me a lot, right? And then he moved on, and the kind of aggression and caution that he mixed was par excellence. It's something that I've seen with the master of chess, Virat Kohli, but he showed absolute similar mentality and absolute similar application to get it going. So it was outstanding. So top number one, of course, Sanju. Second, again, who else but Bumrah? He came in the 12th, 13th over. West Indies was already past 100, and Shimron Hetmeyer, who is their highest run getter, was looking very strong. He's already hit 18 sixes prior to this match. So he was looking dangerous, and by then he had already hit, I think, 1 or 2 sixes already. And Bumrah came, took Shimron's wicket. 2 balls later, took Roston Chase's wicket, who was also batting very well at the strike rate of 200. So I think it was outstanding. Bumrah continues to be a genius, continues to be our banker, somebody you can always count on. So that was another great thing. And of course, the third thing was that everybody playing with a very high strike rate, which enabled us to kind of achieve the target with Sanju's major innings and everybody else's little contributions, which went a long way. So even like Bumrah in his interview was saying that let's not forget the 2 boundaries that Shivam Dube hit at the very end, because at times that can also get very tricky when you needed some 17 runs of 11 balls, and if it gets too tight, then maybe you lose the match in the very last over. So I think that was another nice thing, almost like a perfect team effort. Now let's look at the bottom 3. Of course, it's very upsetting. It's very scary in a way that India is just not able to get their act together on fielding. We had fielding lapses, we had three missed catches, and all three of them were pretty easy, right? Like Abhishek's, both the catches were dollies. I mean, you are expected to catch them, right? And Tilak Verma's catch was maybe a stupidity. He was standing inside the boundary ropes about 10 yards, and which meant that he could not easily take that catch, which had he stood on the boundary ropes, he would have easily been able to take it. But that continues, and that's definitely a cause of worry. And I would again say that I think it's high time we change the fielding coach in Dilip. Everybody is a big fan, like I mentioned even in my previous video, but I think there are so many times in Indian and world over cricket that the coaches who are not able to get the performances out are of course having to take the knock, right? So why not the same approach in fielding? For example, we had our batting coach, right? Today it is Sitanshu Kotak, but prior to this, it was Abhishek Nair, who was the batting coach. And because of the test match performances, and we failed poorly of late in test matches, so he was asked to go. So the same approach should happen. I mean, Dilip, of course, I have nothing against him, but I feel maybe a new approach is necessary. How can we consistently be such a bad fielding side, which is not something that we can very happily associate against our name? So again, that's one massive issue. Second and third is about the number one T20 batter and number one T20 bowler. Today, number one T20 batter is Abhishek and number one T20 bowler is Varun. But both of these people are having a tough time. So these are the areas that we didn't do well almost in the entire tournament, right? Like Varun now has had third match in which in 4 overs he's given 40 runs away. He's taken only one wicket. He didn't look threatening. Similarly, Abhishek, he also scored some 10 or 15 runs in this match, and he did not look threatening at all. So if they are the number one batter and the bowler in the world today, they are looking a pale shadow of themselves. So that's another area that we have to improve come the most important match, which is England. And if we qualify, then of course the finals against SA or NZ. So those are the areas that we could have done better, I clearly feel. And come England, now what's most important is that the next one is of course again a knockout match, and England has played all right. I somehow have got a gut feel that the England match should be an easier win than the West Indies match that we had. So this, of course, I can be wrong, because on a given day, any team can be destructive, and we can lose badly against them or lose against them. But this is my hunch that maybe we might have not such a difficult time beating England at Wankhede in Mumbai. So that's my hunch. But I feel that against England, again, we've done most things right. The beauty is that despite number one batter and bowler failing, or rather, I would not say failing, but yeah, they clearly are not their best, we are still managing to win, which means that somebody or the other is chipping in, is able to win it for India. So I feel that we have a lot of things right. Just before the England match, we need to maybe ease out Varun and Abhishek both mentally, so that they are a little bit free. Yeah, and maybe they start firing, because once they fire while the others are also playing well, I think we will be a formidable side, which we looked just before the World Cup. So I'm really hoping, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, that come the very important match on Thursday, the semi-finals, our team again comes back to the same style, to the same confidence, to the same aura that we carried just before the World Cup. So I'm really hoping for a great match, which I am hoping will be a perfect match. And England has also, of course, not played a perfect game. They are also, of course, very hopeful that they will play a perfect match too. So yeah, it'll be very exciting and interesting. But yeah, fielding has to get better. Somebody in that team will all have to assemble and say, "Ki boss, enough is enough." Maybe I feel that a fielding drill for 2-3 hours rather than doing the nets that they do. I don't think they need the batting or the bowling warm ups anymore. I feel just a 2-3 hours before the match, a day before the match rather, fielding drill, constant catching, that might just do the trick. I'm suggesting something very radical because most teams don't do that, but that apparently is the only area I feel that our team has not done well at all and needs to improve. So I hope they are able to do that. I hope somebody listens from the team there. And yeah, looking forward to that amazing, interesting match, though on a working day. But yeah, I'll try and sneak out of work, finish work early, go early, and look forward to that amazing match against England. Yeah, see you. Lagan wasool karna hai. Don't forget that.